Hey, Cowboys Nation! Today, we're diving deep into some big news and changes for our Dallas Cowboys. If you're as passionate about the blue and silver as we are, you'll want to stick around. First off, let's start with a quick shout out. If you're new here or just haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and tap that notification bell. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest and greatest Cowboys news, and it brings us closer to our goal of hitting 12,000 subscribers. It means the world to us to grow this community together. Now, let's kick things off. As the season unfolds, Cowboys fans everywhere are buzzing with questions. How will this season shape up? Will these changes push us closer to that Super Bowl dream, or are we in for a rough ride? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Alright, let's dive into some of the big shifts that happened this offseason. As fans, we know the Cowboys didn't make it easy for themselves. From roster adjustments to cap space limits, there were a lot of decisions made that left fans wondering if this season would be a challenging one from the start. For instance, the Cowboys let go of some key players. Among the losses was Dan Quinn's departure, a defensive coordinator who was instrumental to our defensive strength. He, along with other valuable coaches and players like Tony Pollard and Tyron Smith, headed to new teams, leaving gaps in our lineup that have been tough to fill. It wasn't just about talent either, it was the experience and cohesion that really impacted our team's chemistry. And, of course, this has left fans asking, did these changes set us back, or could fresh faces bring a new dynamic? Let's hear what you think. Drop a comment below with a simple yes or no if you feel the offseason changes were a positive step forward for the Cowboys. As we dig deeper, we'll discuss one player move that seemed like a no-brainer to fans but didn't even make it to the negotiation table. But before we do, if you're enjoying the breakdown so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any updates or breakdowns just like this one. Now, let's talk about one move, or rather, a non-move that had fans scratching their heads: Derrick Henry. During the offseason, there was plenty of talk about the Cowboys pursuing the star running back to boost our ground game. Henry, a powerhouse with the ability to energize any offense, seemed like the perfect fit, especially since our running game struggled last season with Tony Pollard. Surprisingly, the Cowboys didn't even make the call. According to sources, Dallas didn't reach out to Henry, who instead ended up in Baltimore. Imagine the impact a player like Derrick Henry could have had on our offense. As fans, it's easy to see why this decision sparked debate. Would Henry's signing have turned things around? Or did the Cowboys dodge a bullet by not pursuing him? Jerry Jones's explanation was centered on cap management and planning for future signings. He argued that adding Henry wouldn't have been worth the financial strain. But some fans question whether this reasoning is sound or if the front office is simply missing key opportunities. So let's put it to a vote. Would you have liked to see Derrick Henry in a Cowboys jersey this season? Comment yes or no below. This situation gets even more complex when we consider the impact of salary cap management on the Cowboys' current roster. Stick around, because next we're diving into how the front office financial decisions are shaping Dak Prescott's role and the team's long-term prospects. And remember, if you haven't already, subscribe to Cowboys News TV. Let's keep this community growing. Let's dive deeper into the ongoing discussion around Dak Prescott's contract, a topic that's been a flashpoint for Cowboys fans. Dak's extension, while locking in our QB, has placed significant constraints on the Cowboys' salary cap. When Prescott was first signed, the front office was faced with a tough choice: secure their franchise QB or face a potentially crippling cap hit if he left. In the end, they chose to extend, but at a high cost, not just financially but strategically. Some fans argue that this contract has limited the team's flexibility, preventing critical signings like Derrick Henry. Others point out that it's impossible to build a championship team when a large portion of the cap is tied up in one player, no matter how talented Dak himself is. Now feeling that pressure, especially with the team struggling to maintain an elite roster around him. So here's a question for the Cowboys Nation: is Doc worth the investment, or should Dallas have explored other options? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is one of the hottest debates among fans, and we'd love to hear where you stand. Looking ahead, Doc's contract is still set to impact the Cowboys' options for years to come. It's a situation that may force the team to make even tougher decisions down the line, and if you're here for this in-depth Cowboys analysis, make sure to hit that subscribe button and enable notifications. It's the best way to keep up with all the twists and turns of this season. Coming up, let's talk about another factor that's impacting our offense: the state of the Cowboys' offensive line and how it's affecting the team's core strategy. Moving on to another key issue affecting the Cowboys' season: the offensive line. Known in past years as one of the most dominant lines in the league, this season's unit has been a shadow of its former self. Injuries to veterans like Tyron Smith and Tyler Biadasz have left the Cowboys scrambling to patch up critical gaps, which has directly impacted Doc's performance and the run game's effectiveness. It's not just about talent, it's about cohesion. The best offensive lines work as a unit, and right now, the Cowboys' line lacks that consistency. Inexperience and frequent lineup changes make it tough to protect Doc and create those open lanes for running backs to exploit. So here's something to think about. Do you think the Cowboys should invest heavily in rebuilding the offensive line or focus resources elsewhere? Let's see what the fan base thinks. Drop your take in the comments. And if you're passionate about Cowboys football and love deep dives like this, don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications. Your support is helping us grow this community, and we're on a mission to reach our next goal of 12,000 subscribers. Be a part of it. In the next segment, we'll tackle the other side of the ball. The Cowboys' defensive strengths were key to last season's success, but some unexpected offseason changes have left this group with big shoes to fill. Let's take a closer look at the impact on the defense, switching gears to the Cowboys' defense, a unit that held strong last season but has faced big adjustments this year. The offseason saw departures of key defensive contributors like Dorance Armstrong and Dante Fowler, players who were instrumental in last season's performance. This year, the defense seems to have lost some of its edge, and the impact has been felt in crucial games. With new coaching strategies in play and a few inexperienced players stepping up, the defensive line has struggled to generate consistent pressure, and the secondary has faced some coverage issues, especially when facing top-tier offenses. Even with standout players like Micah Parsons, it's clear this defensive squad lacks the depth it once had. Here's a question for you. Do you think the Cowboys should focus on drafting defensive talent, or should they look to trade for experienced defensive players? Let us know in the comments. Remember, if you're enjoying this in-depth look at the Cowboys season, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support helps us keep the Cowboys community informed and growing. Let's hit that 12,000 subscriber mark together. Next up, we'll examine the roster challenges ahead. With contracts looming, the Cowboys' future cap situation is a major factor in decisions for the next few seasons. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the Cowboys' future. It's clear that roster management will be a critical concern. With key players under contract and several crucial decisions on the horizon, the team must navigate the tricky waters of salary cap management. Currently, a significant portion of the Cowboys' cap space is tied up in the contracts of Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, and with Micah Parsons' contract extension looming, the financial pressure is mounting. The reality is that maintaining a competitive roster while paying top dollar for star players is a delicate balancing act. With Dak Prescott being the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, the organization needs to ensure that it surrounds him with the right talent. But how can they do that if they're already feeling the pinch? Here's where you come in. What moves do you think the Cowboys should prioritize this offseason? Should they focus on extending Parsons, or do you think they need to reconsider Prescott's role moving forward? Share your thoughts below. If you're finding our breakdowns insightful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and enable that notification bell. Your engagement is invaluable to us, helping us expand our community of Cowboys fans. Together, we can tackle the challenges ahead and discuss the possibilities. Now, let's move on to the big question. Can the Cowboys rebound from this season and make a push for the playoffs in the future? Looking ahead, the Dallas Cowboys need to focus on a comprehensive plan for recovery. It's not just about tweaking a few strategies. It's about a fundamental reassessment of their approach. For starters, the draft will play a crucial role in shaping the future of the franchise. With a potentially high draft pick, the Cowboys have an opportunity to bring in young talent that can contribute immediately, but the draft isn't the only aspect of their recovery. They need to evaluate the coaching staff and the overall philosophy of the team. If they want to foster a winning culture, it's essential to ensure that every part of the organization is aligned towards the same goal. This may involve bringing in new personnel who share a vision for success. What do you think? Should the Cowboys overhaul their coaching staff, or do you believe in sticking with what they have for continuity? Vote in the poll above or let us know your opinion in the comments. And remember, if you're enjoying our insights and discussions, please hit that subscribe button and activate the notification bell. We're committed to delivering you the latest news and analysis on the Cowboys, and your support helps us grow our community. As we navigate through these challenges, the Cowboys must remain hopeful and proactive. Can they reinvent themselves and rise from the ashes of this season? Let's explore the potential strategies moving forward.